Hi, Jen here from Jen Michelle Coaching, and today I want to talk about how to make a relationship work with a man who's had a bad childhood. This is such a difficult topic, yet I want to dive into some simple things that you can do to just feel a sense of control over your own life and the direction you're headed so you don't get lost in the day-to-day stuff that's occurring, or perhaps sinking too deep into your role of trying to be the rescuer, falling into just unhealthy patterns and tendencies as a result. For those of you new to my channel, I would love to invite you to subscribe. I release a video Sundays of each week. Number one, don't move into the rescuer fixer role. Only he can do his work. And so many women have shared to me that they do have a tendency to work with a man based off his potential, or they start to lose themselves because they're scared of what his strong emotions look like, or they don't trust that things will work out for them unless they sort of step in and soften or maneuver things a certain way. And this just puts a band-aid on something that needs to be cleaned and cleared out at a deeper level. And so it's empowering to recognize that another person is the only one that can do their work. And so if you're in a relationship with a man who is struggling with childhood issues that haven't been fully processed, or that he hasn't developed healthier coping mechanisms around, it is about recognizing that that has to come from that sort of soul-stirring connection from within. And that's nothing that you can make happen no matter how careful you are or how perfectly you may handle or maneuver day-to-day situations with him. Number two, support healthy ways that he may practice self-care and manage his triggers. And so if you're dealing with a man who has a lot of repressed or suppressed emotions within, and you haven't seen a whole lot of healthy coping mechanisms, but sometimes you see something and you're like, wow, I really admire the way he just handled that, or this is what he intuitively feels is necessary to be a better version of himself, whether that means getting together with, healthy male friends, or, getting active physically, or just doing things that make him feel a sense of agency and just feel a sense of empowerment within. Encourage those things. Even if you deal with your own insecurities and your own stuff can creep up around it, it's so important to encourage him to do what intuitively feels healthiest and right within him. Because if he grew up with a bad childhood, I'm sure his confidence is not at its peak. And so you want to do things that encourage him to really trust and believe in himself, that he has the solution within, and that he can be the man that you fell in love with, that he can be this version that makes you happy and contributes to your life in a really joyful and meaningful way. But it starts with supporting the things that are intuitive to him, to self-soothe, that are healthy. And even if they're just little and few and far between, you're bringing positive attention to the things that you want to see shift and change and expand over time. Number three, don't sweep anything under the rug. Hold your boundaries. Sometimes if we're dealing with a man who doesn't have the healthiest emotional coping skills, and I'm talking about in a safe situation, I am not talking about, physical or domestic abuse or anything like that. I'm talking about a situation where it just seems innocent enough to sweep it under the rug, but deep down that you're sweeping something under the rug and it's going to show up in another time and in another way, or in an argument 6 months from now. It's really important to hold your boundaries and say, I don't like that, or, I want to acknowledge this because it is something that's going to come up later if I don't. And you hold space for your boundaries, and you bring to light what's necessary for you to move on and give him the best version of yourself. Because if you're stuffing a bunch of unmet needs and emotions down, how can you be the best version of yourself for him. It's going to be very, very hard because you are going to be dealing with a buildup of very intense emotions that are looking to come up and come out. And so it's so important to acknowledge and to bring to light the things that are okay for you and the things that aren't okay for you, and to own them unapologetically and to trust yourself. So I hope that these 3 tips on dealing with a man with a bad childhood are so helpful to you if this is something that you're dealing with. And if you would like additional resources and tools, please visit my site, jenmichellecoaching.com. You can check out my various digital, individual, and group resources and programs there.